Good evening. On this special day where Switch TV turns 3, we thank you, our viewers, for the massive support. We have a lot in line for you today on tonight's bulletin, but first let's take a look at the headlines. Deputy President William Ruto and his allies criticized Mount Kenya Foundation's meeting with One Kenya Alliance core principles. On our weekly edition of Bunge la Mwananchi, Kenyans air their views on Mount Kenya Foundation meetings with presidential hopefuls ahead of the 2022 general elections. And from the sports desk, Kenyans react to Harambee Stars' humiliating results against Mali. Glad you're watching. With 30 minutes of the broadcast begins now. ODM leader Raila Odinga has decried the low number of Kenyans turning up to register as voters in his Nyanza backyard. Speaking in Luanda constituency, Raila has asked elected leaders and party officials from the area to go back to the electoral areas and mobilize people to register as voters. Odinga has expressed his disappointment, saying that while supporters of his opponents have aggressively taken advantage of the exercise to grow their members, his own supporters are still reluctant. The one-month voter registration exercise is targeting at least 6 million first-time voters.
Mimi nasema, manake niliambia watu nitafanya uamuzi mwisho wa mwezi huu. Kwa kura ya kutosha, mimi nitatangaza ati mimi niko tayari.
Tunatembea pamoja na Mheshimiwa Raila, na sisi tumeamua tutakuwa washiriki katika serikali yake.
Meanwhile, 2 people have died and hundreds left homeless following a 2 a.m. fire tragedy in Mlango Kubwa area in Mathare, Nairobi. Most people were unable to rescue their property in the fire that quickly spread to their houses. However, they are now calling on the government to support them during this time they are rebuilding their lives again. Mariam Jahid with his story.
2 a.m. in the dead of the night, the unexpected happened. Fire erupted, leaving residents running helter-skelter, trying to salvage the situation. However, their biggest challenge was lack of water, leading to the fire spreading more and quickly, leaving over 200 families homeless, as most of them did not save any property. Aside from the water problem, accessibility was also another issue.
Mwendo wa saa 8 usiku, wakati ndio kulikuwa na nduru kila mahali. Katika hiyo harakati ndio nikaanza kuona wamama wanakimbiza watoto kwenda mafichoni, wengine walikuwa wanaokoa mali yao.
Jaribu kumwaga hadi sewage, maji ya sewage, moto ikatuzidi hadi ikaleta hata maafa.
We meet victims who narrate their ordeal seen peering through the ruins with desperation visible on their faces.
Si vibaya sana, sijawahi kuona moto ingine kama hii. Nasikia uchungu, nikishindwa sasa nitaanzia wapi? Sina kijiko, sina kikombe, na niko na watoto, sina kitu, hata watoto hawana nguo.
Nimepoteza birth certificate, form 4 certificate ya class 8, driving license, zote zimeenda. Nimepaki hivi za sina chochote. Unajua hizi ni documents za shule na ni za maana sana. Ukitafuta wera itabidi usitumie.
Mlango Kubwa dwellers are now calling on the government to intervene and help them with temporary residence as they embark on a journey to rebuild their lives.
Hivyo tunaomba serikali, tumeadhirika pakubwa sana, tuweze kusaidiwa na ile miti, angalau tuweze kurudisha makao zetu na mabati. Vile next week shule itakuwa inafunguliwa. Na watoto vitabu zimechomeka, uniform imechomeka, hawana mbele wala nyuma. Kwa hivyo pia watufikirie.
Some of the victims speculate that there is a possibility this was arson.
Kwa kando, kuna mtu alikuwa anashikicha kando na alikuwa mlevi. So wakati alilala, hiyo ikamelt. Sasa mabwenyenye nao upatia nafasi hapo. Wanapeleka moto yote.
According to the area leader of Nyumba Kumi, residents have lived in this informal settlement for many decades, citing they own the land despite claims it is owned by the Land Property Group. Over 200 families have called this place a home, and as you can see, the fire has razed down everything, with many are crying for help as the school-going children are set to go back to school in 5 days. Mariam Jahid, Switch TV.
Thank you, Mariam Jahid. A local leading water technology firm is rolling out a smart meter project targeting all water service providers across the country to enhance good customer service provision. Speaking during the launch of the project, Earthview Managing Director Charles Kaloki said that the introduction of smart meters will highly enhance service delivery to water customers and improve general services in the water sector. He further said smart metering targets to enhance revenue collection by 200% in a short period of time to reduce the technical losses and be able to account for the water extracted.
Water resources requires accurate, timely.
Across the last 1 year, the implementation of the metering in electricity and water has been a challenge, and it's not only in Kenya but it's happening across the region. According to the Secretary General of Smart Meters Association of Africa, James Ngomeli, the association is bringing all players in the metering value chain in the Africa region so that they can have a standardized way of metering.
You must have seen across the last 1 year of how the implementation of the metering, both in electricity and water, has been a challenge, and it's not only in Kenya only. It's happening across the region, and these meters, they are meant to bring more satisfaction to customers. They are meant to reduce cost, and they are meant to increase revenue for the utilities.
He further noted the association will ensure that similar platforms will be established where one meter in Nairobi can be linked to another one in Embu or Nakuru.
So our association will ensure that we have similar platforms where a meter working in Nairobi can work in Embu, can work in Nakuru, which is not happening at this juncture. We also want the electricity smart meters, the people in our association, to be the ones who will be given the forefront in any activity to do with smart metering in this region.
Earthview Managing Director Charles Kaloki said the project began in January and phase 1 is already done, and the second phase, whose construction is underway this month, will ensure rolling out of the smart meters across the country. He further added the first phase will focus on building capacity and building a system within Water System Authority, and the second phase is about rolling out the smart meters.
With also the Smart Meters Association of Africa, to be able to roll out this to the water service providers. One of the things which is key in Mwananchi, how this project in fact impact Mwananchi, is billing. A lot of people pay bills which they don't understand. A lot of the bills they pay, they are given a bill, but they are not based on usage. And smart metering targets to be able to give bills which are based on usage, on daily usage. So you get bills which are based on what you use every day, as opposed to getting a bill which you only read and you cannot be able to understand what is your usage for daily. So smart metering targets to be able to implement a way of wananchi or transparency in billing, and also ensuring that there is less water lost in distribution.
The project, funded by Kenya Innovative Finance Facility for Water KIFFWA, will see a reduction of non-revenue water by 50% and will ensure that the government shows records of how much water is extracted from every receiver and how much is billed. Moses Kinyanjui, Switch TV.
Thank you, Moses Kinyanjui. Today, leaders from the Telecommunications Africa NENDA have announced its launch as a new Africa-led organization aimed to accelerate instant and inclusive payment systems through partnerships with African governments, regional economic communities, and private sector associations. Africa NENDA aims at addressing the key bottlenecks around critical pre-project support and institutional capacity building that are currently restricting the scale-up of fundable, instant, and inclusive payment system projects.
When we've taken detailed research, some of the key issues that come out is one, that these systems are closed-looped, therefore that you cannot actually move money from one network to another. Therefore, we're talking about interoperability. The issue of cost is a critical issue. In some cases, the networks have not actually gone to places where the unbanked live and exist. And in some other cases, what happens is that you build systems which are not cost-effective, therefore expensive.
The vision of the blueprint is having a digitally empowered citizenry living in a digitally enabled society. We aspire for a Kenya where every citizen, enterprise, and organization have digital access and the capability to participate and thrive in the digital economy.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health has congratulated the Kenya Nutrition and Dietitians Institute (KNDI), a regulatory body that targets to regulate and market foods and food supplements the food industry, by being the second institution in Africa to come up with a legal framework that regulates nutritional profession and practice in Kenya. The Nutrition and Dietitians professionals speaking during the headquarters launch of the institution have appealed to the government to pay employees and interns in the nutrition and dietetics field to ensure effective promotion of nutrition in the country. Health CAS Mercy Mwangangi, noting that Kenya is facing a triple threat of malnutrition, has called for enhanced measures to improve dietary habits of Kenyans.
I was sitting here wondering if I really wanted to know the content of certain nutrition elements in certain foods. Who do I go to? Do I Google? Do I go to MyFitnessPal? Who knows MyFitnessPal? Those who have lost kilos like me may know MyFitnessPal, because when you scan a food, it comes up with the nutrition components. Then I thought, but we have KNDI. Mwananchi should be able to interact with yourselves. So can you come up with an application, a mobile application, where we engage with yourselves as nutritionists?
Now, on matters COVID-19, today the country has recorded 170 new positive cases, 254 recoveries and 1 death, bringing the positivity rate to 2.8%. Meanwhile, with over 4 million vaccinations and a target to vaccinate 5.8 million by Mashujaa Day, Kenya has received 160,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine from Slovakia, as it expects 860 more additional doses later in the night. Break, stay tuned, we'll be back with more. Welcome back and thank you for keeping it Switch TV. Veteran Kenya Broadcasting Corporation journalist Badi Musin is dead. The Swahili maestro passed on today according to his family. The legend anchor made his name in the broadcasting house to rise and be among the best Swahili news anchors in the country. Musin was born in Kitui and was presented with the Order of the Grand Warrior OGW Award in 2011 by retired President Mwai Kibaki for his long service in journalism. He was also recognized as one of the best Swahili news anchors by the famed author Wala Binwala in 2010, in addition to being first runners-up for the Best Swahili Translator Award in KBC in 1993. Musin retired a few years back but made a return to the national broadcasting soon after rebranding. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Moving on our weekly edition of Bunge la Mwananchi, a section of Kenyans have reacted to the ongoing meetings between Mount Kenya Foundation and presidential hopefuls 10 months to the 2022 general elections. Take a look.
Tunajua pesa ni mingi Kenya, lakini iko kwa mifuko ya wachache.
Uchumi wa nchi unazorota. Nchi ni yetu sote. Welcome yet to another fresh new episode of Bunge la Mwananchi, where we discuss matters affecting the local Mwananchi direct into the heart. And in this episode, we want just to understand why is every presidential aspirant, all those who are eyeing the toppest seat, the presidency in the next year general election, eyeing to see the tycoons. What is up with the Mount Kenya leadership? What is up with the Mount Kenya Foundation? In this episode, we really want to understand exactly what is happening. And the local Mwananchi, represented by the Bunge la Mwananchi aspirants and the members of parliament for Bunge la Mwananchi, will really want to understand that. Join me in this conversation.
Hawa watu wote wanaona mataikuni wa Central ama wapi, watakutana kila mtu sababu wako biashara.
This is not a family kiosk. Na this is a republic. So kama mtu anafikiria ndio ako na ile authority, aende atafute kiosk ama entity ya family, hiyo ni empire. Watafute yao lakini wasipe Kenya.
Ni lazima yule ambaye anajitahidi kuwa rais wa Kenya lazima apitie hawa wanabiashara ambao tunaita kwa ungenge mataikons. Hawa ndio wanapatiana uongozi. Sababu ni gani? Mwaka wa 2002 tuliona kwamba walipomunga rais Kibaki alipata. Mwaka 2007 hivyo hivyo. Mwaka 2013 hivyo hivyo Uhuru Kenyatta aliungwa na hawa na biashara wote na akapata urais. Mwaka 2017 vile vile walimuunganisha na kangusha Raila.
Wale ni waoga. Mbona washindwe wakitetemeka maini wakikuja kutuonyesha eti ndio wako na authority ya kupeana mwelekeo?
Wacha muongozo hivyo.
Niko sure Mount Kenya Foundation wanaangalia ule mtu ana protect interest yao.
Sasa naona wanaita watu wanapeleka hapo kwa mahoteli kubwa, watu wanasema wanapangia wananchi candidate wao. So mimi nakashifu hiyo kitu. Waache Kenya wenyewe wachague candidate wao wenyewe wanaona. Si watu wa group watu watano wanasema wanatuletea candidate wenyewe sisi hatutaki. Mimi nakashifu hiyo.
Taikuni wako na nguvu yao. Nikikumbuka wakati ya President Moi, kuna wakati walihamisha pesa, ikabidi tutengenezwe pesa fake. Walifunga akaunti zao wakasema endelea na serikali yako. Kwa hivyo nafasi yao tuwapatie. Huwezi kuwadharau kwa sababu wako nazo. Sisi maskini wananchi tunategemea wazuke hizo pesa chini tupate. Kwa hivyo lazima tuwapatie nafasi yao.
Sisi wote tunafuata kama tajiri. Wakituambia ni hapa tutainvest kura zetu, sisi wanga tutapata mwelekeo hapo. Na wako na usemi mkubwa sana.
Na wananchi pia tuko na msemo wetu, yani msemo wetu katika hali ya jinsi tutakavyochagua ni viongozi wetu. Lakini semekana ya kwamba hata wao pia wakitoa mwelekeo si mbaya. Vile vile si pia tunaona kama ni mwelekeo nzuri au si nzuri.
Sasa hivi tunapoona kwamba kiongozi wa ODM Raila aliweza kufika pale Mount Kenya akazungumza na hao mataikun, na kisha wale watu ambao ni waoka wakaenda pia nao wakazungumza. Walipokuwa wanaongea ni kama walikuwa wanaongea kama watu ambao wataelekea kwa mlengo moja baadaye. Kwa hivyo kwa hii group yote vile ambavyo wameenda, itakuwa kwamba in as much as tunaweza sema kwamba wao ni mataikuni na kuna vile ambao wataweza influence maybe wa supervert the will of the people, hiyo iwezi kuwa ukweli, kwa sababu sidhani iwapo kuna ule tajiri mmoja atakuja kwa mwananchi amwambia ati kwamba kura yako lazima uweke hapa. Kwa hivyo ile influence yao iko, na vile ambapo naamini kwa sababu wengi siwezi sema kwamba ni wanasiasa, ni kupitia kwa njia ya mfuko. na hakuna siasa ile ambayo inafanyika bila pesa.
Kitu mimi naweza kupenda, kitu ambao napendea mtu mmoja Raila kwa kusema pesa yake apeleki nje. Hiyo nimempa heshima kubwa kabisa, kwa maana yake kuficha pesa nje ni kuumisha mwananchi.
Tunataka ule president yote ataingia lazima kwa upande yao.
Now, with the push and pull of who governs what in the elections, who really determines who will win what, especially in the next year general elections? Is it the tycoon, as they say, or the local mwananchi?
Mwananchi ndio ultimately the final decision maker kwa hii contest.
Mwananchi aheshimiwe kwa sababu tunachoka.
Nguvu zote za katiba hii zimikononi mwa raia, wananchi wa Kenya. Sovereign power belongs to Kenyans, sio matajiri.
All right, that brings us to the end of this fresh episode of Bunge la Mwananchi, where we speak your language. My name is Robert Uma, and Sunji has made all this possible with the camera work. Good evening.
Wakenya wengi wanasafa. Tunajua pesa ni mingi Kenya, lakini iko kwa mifuko ya wachache.
Uchumi wa nchi unazorota.
Nchi ni yetu sote.
October, and it's a good day for sports. Now, to start us off, new Harambee Stars head coach Engin Firat started his 2-month life at the Kenya football team with a huge loss after succumbing to a 5-0 defeat away to Mali in the Africa 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifier. New Harambee Stars Engin Firat also went on with a huge task. Of course, our reporter Mohamed Omar has more.
Harambee Stars finished the game without a shot on target, making it a banter to all football fans across the country, with most Kenyans putting a keen eye on Engin Firat's first test as a head coach.
To see what's going on the field, what the boys will do. In general, I'm satisfied. They do what they can.
The result steers the Stars into the books of history, it being the third team to concede many goals in the World Cup qualifiers.
Oh, he almost looked as if he was...
Despite the Stars holding firm expectations of bagging all 3 points, the odds did not seem to lie on their end, with Adama Traore netting into the opener, striking tallying the scoreline to 5.
Hawezi. Ataweza kwa sababu akisaidiwa na technical bench, akina mwendo vizuri.
Maoni yangu ni kuwa mkufunzi hawezi. Itakuwa kitambo sana, na labda tungoje 2026. Lakini kwa sasa ni ngumu, maanake wachezaji hawajaingiliana na mifumo yake.
So mbona tuchukue mtu mwenye hajakuwa akiperform vizuri tukuje hapa then we expect different results? Hii situation yote ya Harambee Stars wachezaji hatuwezi walaumu.
However, the reverse match is scheduled on Sunday 10th October 2021 at Nyayo Stadium. A draw from Uganda and Rwanda takes Kenya to third position with 2 points in their group. The big question remains, will Engin Firat take Kenya to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar? Reporting for Switch TV, I'm Omar Mohammed.
Thank you, Omar, for that report. Now, over to Matters Rugby, where Kenya Simba's head coach Paul Odera has named 2 uncapped players in his 40-man squad for international test matches slated for November in South Africa. Bethwell Anami, who played for the Strathmore Leos, and George Omola, who also plays for Mwemba, have been drafted into the Simba squad and will be hoping to impress in training. Odera also plans to add 8 foreign-based players to the list for the quadrangular tournament featuring Namibia, Brazil, Zimbabwe in Stellenbosch, South Africa. And the other foreign-based players are Jeff Mutuku and Mark Mutuku, who also play in the USA, Andrew Simiyu, South Africa, Malcolm Onsando, Romania, and UK-based Toby Frankombe, Owain Ashley and siblings Cameron Colson and Dominic Colson. Odera says the squad composition was based on footage and data from players who played in the 48-5 win against Zambia at the 2021 Africa Cup, which doubled as the second round of the 2023 Rugby World Cup Africa qualification.
Sees it become a World Cup qualifying game. Well, it's Davis Chenge just a good ball at his feet. A good scrummage from Kenya. Farai Mudariki.
And in another enticing 2022 Qatar World Cup qualifying encounter, Uganda made things difficult for Harambee Stars by edging out a stubborn Rwanda 1-0 in a hard-fought contest that saw both sides get the best of each other, but Uganda managed to cruise top after the 90 minutes of play, courtesy of a bio goal slightly before halftime.
And there it is! 1-0! Uganda snatched the lead against the run of play. But it all came from the free kick. Nice step over. Ball will fall nicely. Oh, what a miss. Well, that could have been game over had that got in. Mukwala with an air backspin. Keeps it in play. Nicely come back. Oh, what a miss. Of all people.
Theo Hernandez scored a superb 90th minute winner as France hit back from 2-0 down to stun Belgium and reach the Nations League final. Didier Deschamps' side looked out of contention at the break after conceding 2